I'm going to teach you a practice called emotional freedom techniques, or tapping. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this. Has anybody heard of tapping? A few of you have. So tapping is a really helpful, effective way to work with food cravings and the food behaviors that really don't support our highest good, let's say. So we'll do a little bit of tapping. I'll teach you the technique. I have done EFT. And again, I have to just say this caveat. This is not part of Shambhala officially. This is a separate thing that I do as a mindful eating coach working with people. So just so you know that, even though we're sitting here with the Shambhala shrine. Emotional freedom techniques, or EFT, or tapping, it goes by all these names. It's considered a form of emotional acupuncture. So what we do is we fingertip tap at or near the ends of acupuncture meridian points while we're recollecting a stressful situation. The tapping, what it does is it sends a little pulse, it sends a little electromagnetic signal to the amygdala, the part of the brain where the stress is stored. And it's kind of like petting your dog when it's barking at the mailman versus yelling at your dog when it's barking at the mailman, right? So at the moment, when your dog is barking at the mailman, if you just say, stop barking at the mailman, the dog just keeps barking, right? But if you go to the dog and say, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's just the mail carrier, it's okay, the dog eventually calms down. So literally, we're patting down our dog brain. We're patting down this very primitive part of our brain that is pre-language, which is why we can talk about our food habits for a long time, but nothing will really change. The same thing with the losing weight versus letting go of the weight. Until that part of our brain really can release the stress and say, it's okay, then the behaviors change, the weight starts falling off, etc. Here's how tapping works. So first of all, we start with recollecting or tuning into stress that we're having. So let's say it's a sugar craving, because nobody in this room is having sugar cravings ever, right? We established that at the beginning of the talk. So here I am, and I'm smelling these. See, what I smell in here is like the butter, or the fake butter, the vanilla. That vanilla chocolate combination is like, oh, it's deadly. It's killer. Okay, so here's my craving for cookies. So we tune in to the stress. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, we measure it. Just like when you go to the doctor, how intense is the pain on a scale of 1 to 10. So my craving for this right now, okay. Yeah, it could go up to about a 6, I would say, 6 or 7. So we tune into the stress. How intense is it? We give it a number. Okay. Then we start, and you can all do this with me, and we start tapping on the karate chop point on our hand, and either hand is fine. And you can do this talking to yourself. We start with what's called a setup statement. So my setup statement here is, even though I'm craving this chocolate chip cookie right now, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So the logic here is that we state the problem, and then we counter with an affirmation of self-acceptance. And the most common one is, I deeply love and accept myself. Now, the first time I said that, I got physically nauseated. I wanted to run screaming out of the room. And it was an amazing thing to see that after all these years of being a Dharma practitioner, a Buddhist meditation practitioner, I didn't love and accept myself, even after all these years of meditation. So the practitioner that I worked with said, just say it anyway. So even if you feel disgusted by the thought of saying, I deeply and completely love and accept myself, just say it anyway, because the view is that self-love and self-acceptance is the antidote to all of our emotional stresses. Just again, what you were saying, Barb. So we start here. Even though I'm craving this chocolate chip cookie, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And we say that 1, 2, or 3 times, and we can change the wording. So even though I'm sitting here and I really want this chocolate chip cookie, and I know I shouldn't have it, but I want it anyway. I choose to love and forgive myself in this moment. Even though I really would love to eat this cookie right now, I accept where I'm at, and I forgive myself unconditionally. So the wording, you can shift the wording around, but the basic idea while we're tapping here is that you're saying something, you're stating the problem, and you're countering with an affirmation. Then once you've done that a couple of times, the tapping points are the top of the head, just right up here in the center of the head, inside the eyebrows, just where the eyebrow meets the bridge of the nose, the temple of the eye, okay, underneath the eye, and you can use one or both hands. I tend to like to use both hands. Underneath the eye, underneath the nose, underneath the mouth, and again, these are all the ends of different acupuncture meridians. And I can't tap on my collarbone points because of the microphones, but collarbone point. And if you want, you can tap what's called the bra strap point. You can just kind of come around under here, and then we can start up on the top of the head again. And you can eliminate this one if it's physically difficult or uncomfortable. The sequencing of the points doesn't matter. You can tap on one, you can go, around to all of them. But while we're tapping, so we've done the setup statement. Even though I want this chocolate chip cookie, I love and accept myself. Okay, we've done that. Then we come up and we focus to begin with on the negative, the problem. This craving for my chocolate chip cookie. I really want this chocolate chip cookie. I'm really craving this cookie. And if there's an emotion connected to it, we state that as well. I'm really craving this cookie and I feel sad. I'm really craving this cookie and I feel like I never have any fun in my life. So we explore the emotional associations connected to the cookie. Then at a certain point, the brain will kind of go, it'll just release the stress, and then we focus on the positive. I choose to love and accept myself. I choose to say no to the things that don't serve my highest good. I choose to let the cookie go. I choose to eat something more nourishing instead. So then that would be a round of tapping, and after it's over, then we go back to the original craving. Okay, I'm craving this chocolate chip cookie. Well, how is it now? Okay, so maybe it's a 4. Maybe it's a 2. Maybe it spikes up, and it goes from a 6 to a 10. And sometimes that can happen when we open the Pandora's box on some buried emotions, things that just have been there for a while. But in any case, we just keep repeating that cycle until the craving is really at a 0. And depending on what it is, you can get there with a couple of rounds, or it can take a little more time. Okay, so that's the explanation of how tapping works.